Welcome to the Rachel Varga podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Varga, double board certified aesthetic nurse specialist since 2011 with over 20,000 rejuvenation procedures performed. I'm an international clinical trainer for other physicians and nurses as well, celebrity skin expert, having been featured on some of the world's top proactive aging podcasts, and much, much more. Learn more at rachelvarga.ca and enjoy today's episode. Welcome everyone. I hope you're having a lovely day. And thank you so much for joining me here on the Rachel Varga podcast. In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you my youthful mindset keys for helping you unlock your youthful vitality from the inside out. Now, this is actually a really interesting concept. The whole concept of, do our words and mindset matter in regards to our aging process and actually keeping us younger? I'm here to tell you, abso-friggin-lutely. Before we get into today's content, in true Rachel Varga podcast fashion, we got to open things up with a little Tibetan bowl. Make sure that you subscribe to the Rachel Varga YouTube channel, the podcast, and on YouTube and Facebook. Hit the bell so that you know when new episodes are dropped. I got a new bowl. I have a new bowl. How exciting is this one? Oh, it's so beautiful. I love sound. Sound actually just really grounds me. I find it very peaceful. And how much cooler is that in an episode here than dropping in a kind of like digital bell? Anyways, let me know what you think about it. I also have my true light going. So I got some nice yellow and red therapy hanging out with us here today. Just turned it back on with my little remote here. I love using the red light when I record because I use a lot of studio lighting. So if you are like me and you're looking at a screen a lot, I really find that having the red light in the room actually kind of almost helps to counteract the LED blue light from our screens. Let me know if you find that as well. So let's get into it. By the way, if you're new here, I'm a double board certified aesthetic nurse specialist since 2011, having performed over 20,000 procedures. So I've started to notice a few things with certain clients, and I write about this in my ebook, Unlocking Your Vitality, that there are certainly a subset of clients that I work with that just seem to be aging much slower than others. They also have more vibrancy and vitality and radiance to them. And sometimes I'll even see this in clients I'm meeting for the first time who are 60 and up, who've never done anything in regards to medical, clinical skincare or rejuvenation options, but they tend to have this glow from the inside out. And honestly, it is from body, mind, spirit, energy practices. It doesn't happen by accident. Getting great skin and aging well is not just about putting an expensive face cream on your skin or signing yourself up for an in-clinic option. It really is a whole lot of lifestyle stuff. And today's episode, we're going to be talking about youthful mindset keys. This is kind of an interesting subject that I haven't really talked too much about here on the show, but I really had some validation on this topic through my recent Viome test kit that I did. And we looked at my biological age versus my chronological age. So what does mindset have to do with our aging process? I always joke at each of my birthdays that I'm turning 25 again. I'm 25 again, even though I'm like 35 now. I'm pretty sure I'm 35 now. But what's really crazy is that our words are really powerful. So I wonder if there's an element to manifesting the fact that we can be younger, even just by putting that out there with our words. I do this a lot in my life. I speak things out before they happen, and then they happen. And then I'm actually not surprised. So to be completely honest with you, when I got my Viome results back and it said that my biological age is 26 instead of my chronological age being 35, that's 9 years younger. And if you want to learn more about the Viome test kit, you can head on over to rachelvarga.ca/favorites. That's where I list out some of my favorite biohacking supplements and options, and also some promo codes to save you guys some money. So by kind of joking, I'm turning 25 again, I honestly, I swear I manifested it. there's something to it because, I've been in 2 pretty rough car accidents over these last 2 years. I should be older, right? I should be older. But what this tells me is that all this healthy living stuff, body, mind, spirit, energy practices, biohacking, it's all working. But also, if you can add this element of mindset and kind of even if it's just joking to yourself, cheers to my next birthday. I'm 25 again. I personally wouldn't want to be 25 again, but biologically, sure. Mentally, no. I like where I am now much more. But just play around with it. Say cheers to yourself if you're out with your girlfriends or family or whatever. Just play with it. Have some fun with it. Start to play a little bit more. We're all just taking this game way too seriously. This is a game that we live in. It's like the Matrix. Step out of it a little bit and get a different perspective every now and again. So how powerful are our words? I think that this is really, really powerful here. So I'm going to share with you probably something you've never even thought of when it comes to how we describe our skin. So I work with many clients across the globe. I've done so for a long time, and we'll hang out on a call and, I'll have my clients explain to me and I'll ask them, what are your skin goals? What would you like me to help you with? And then my clients will begin to explain that, maybe it's pigmentation or acne, fine lines, wrinkles, sagging to the eyelids, brows, jawline, hair loss. How do I get more hydration and all of that? But it's really interesting. Certain clients that I work with, they say, I want to fix my acne, or I want to fix my jawline or my melasma. So you see what I'm doing there? Instead of saying my acne, or for me, I was having huge issues with headaches and migraines from car accidents and whiplash. Like this, it was serious. I did a lot of work around this to not say my whiplash or my headaches. We all get injuries. Most of us have been car crashes, stuff like that. Trust me, this is not just going to relate to your aging process. This is actually going to relate to your overall health and wellness in general. I think this is a really key gold nugget that I've observed this last year. So instead of saying things like, my headache, my achy knee, my achy hip, you can rephrase it to simply say, I feel a little bit of, hip pain today. You see how I kind of changed that? Just these subtle nuances with our words. I really feel that in the case of our body and ailments and aging, that this is kind of untapped, uncharted territory. I've never heard anybody else talk about this. So when you're describing your skin and your aging process, instead of saying, my lines between my eyebrows, say, oh, there's some lines between the brows here that I wouldn't mind doing something about. Or there's some pigmentation on the cheek area here that maybe I might want to soften or prevent more of, instead of saying, oh yeah, my brown spots here, I want to take care of those. These little tweaks, like I swear there's something to this. Let me know. Send me an email, info@rachelvarga.ca, or DM me on Instagram @RachelVargaOfficial, or in the comment section here on YouTube if this is resonating with you. I'm just like throwing out some new concepts that, like I said before, I've never heard anybody else speak on. I also really want to encourage you to start to entertain your inner child through adventuring and learning new skills and trying new things. Nature exploring time and allowing for a little calculated danger in our lives, I think could do us all quite a bit of good. We are kind of trapped in Zoom culture right now, where a lot of us are working from home. We're looking at a screen. We're not getting outside enough. What I literally have to do to maintain my body, mind, spirit, energy, and just freaking sanity in general is having, 1 or 2 days a week where I'm literally, you've heard me talk about this before, I do my off-grid days. I'm 3 hours out in the bush, no cell reception. And I had a breakdown the other day. I did a winter solstice 4x4 excursion with a girlfriend, and it was Martina, and it was her first time joining me on an expedition. I usually go up with my girlfriend Lena. I felt like I was kind of cheating on Lena. We joked about this afterwards. So here I am. kind of like hosting and entertaining my girlfriend and I on winter solstice. We're on these rough trails, and my motor was making some noises the day before. So when you 4x4 a lot, there's always like something that's going to happen with your vehicle. It's never going to be in like perfect condition, but you just go out and you have all the gear that you need to get yourself out of a bind. I have spare batteries, I have spare fuses, I have like an air compressor that if I need to pump my airs back up, I can. The next thing I'm gonna get is a booster for my car. Yeah, I'm gonna get myself the ability to boost my own car, so that if my battery dies for whatever reason, which I did have electrical problems on my winter solstice 4x4 trip, which was also around the time of the full moon. Who the heck knows if that's all connected, but we got to be prepared these days. So when we're looking at doing some calculated danger or nature days or 4x4ing, if you're brave enough, or if you decide to join me on an expedition, you have to have the right gear to make sure that you feel safe. And I think that this is something that a lot of us are working through right now is we're all a little bit scared. So this is shadow work. Let's just inner child shadow work. This got deep awful quick, didn't it? I'm really curious if you guys find this interesting. Drop me a comment in this live stream here if you have any questions about this. But when we're talking about shadow work, a lot of times we suppress this and we just kind of, brush it off that we're all feeling a little bit freaking terrified or scared these days, right? So the psychological tool of EFT or tapping are saying things like you find your specific EFT tapping points, which are 2 points on your chest or the back of the hands, or there's other different areas of your body that you can tap to. And you say different phrases. So, for example, even though I feel scared with the state of the world, I deeply and profoundly accept myself. You tap, you say that like 6 times. Other practitioners do it in different ways, but it's something that really kind of helps me. And the more we highlight the aspects of our lives and our body, mind, spirit, energy that kind of scare us or that we just kind of shove under the rug, unfortunately, that stuff's going to creep back out. So the more light you put on things that bother you or your shadows, the less kind of shadowy they become and you integrate them. This is like serious shadow work, light worker jargon here. So if you're like, what is she talking about? Don't worry, you'll get there. Just stick with me long enough. Or some of you tuning in are going to be like, yeah, I've already done that work. Great, sweet, awesome. Air high five right now. So I really want you guys to integrate a little bit of calculated danger in your lives. I love being a little danger curious these days because you never know what's going to happen. I could be on the trail and I get a flat tire or whatever. You learn how to fix it. So actually, the other day, on the actual full moon that we recently had, I did a 4x4 track with Lena. And I just thought to myself, we pulled over, it was freezing cold, had some hot tea, packed it in the thermos. It's like this fabulous turmeric ginger tea. Is so good. And I have these like emergency lights. So if you have to pull over or something happens, I got these red lights, but it's sweet because it's like red light therapy on the go. And I was just taking a moment, stretching because I've been sitting in the car a while. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to look under the vehicle, look under the hood. This is what's called a rig check. And guys tuning in, if you 4x or other ladies, if you know exactly what I'm talking about. You got to check your rig out and make sure everything's tickety-boo. So anyways, I'm looking under the vehicle, grab my yoga mat from the back. No, I don't keep my yoga mat in my vehicle just for yoga class. I actually use it to put it under my truck and take a look. And I had a zap strap or a clamp actually literally half off. So I thought to myself, am I going to do a bush repair right now or am I going to chance it and do it when I get home? So just like these little things that are kind of exciting and give you this element of danger, I think is really good, especially in regards to a concept called neuroplasticity, which is something that Bruce Lipton, Joe Dispenza, Dr. Greg Braden, all these guys, these amazing Hay House authors talk a lot about is this concept of neuroplasticity. So you don't have to go 4x4ing to experience this. You can simply take a separate route to the grocery store or wherever you're going. Take a different roadway. And it's a really easy way to form these new neural connections in your brain, which is really good for your brain health. So entertaining your inner child sometimes is good through calculated risk and adventuring. Make sure that you have all the supplies that you need. But also I wanted to challenge myself, and I wanted to do a little bit of work on my car. I wanted to take off this failing zap strap and put a proper, really robust clamp on, so that when I am in the woods, I know that something is going to be a little bit more secure, because I go over a lot of rocks and bumps. Stuff gets loose. You got to keep an eye on this stuff if you're taking it seriously. And then also we needed to hook up our new stovetop, and I actually hooked it up myself. I am a very mediocre mechanic and electrician, apparently. But what's really fun is you do these challenging things that are kind of out of the norm, and then you do it and you're like, dang, I feel like a boss. I really want you all to start to do this stuff, especially if you're a woman. Don't be like, oh, I'll just let the hubby do that, or I'll pay someone to do it. Really figure out like what you actually can do and start to do these new things. I've been like this since I was a kid, right? I was that kid in high school, middle school, taking mechanics and helping the other boys out. But there's a tricky part here. There's this whole masculine and feminine thing. I'm very hyper feminine in the work that I do with skin and youth and aging. So that's why I kind of let my more masculine side play when I'm doing like my adventuring and doing some very mediocre mechanics and electrical work, if you will. So it's really interesting to also balance that masculine and feminine quality to you and not be too much of one side, because you're kind of missing out on the other benefits of integrating a little bit of those other aspects in and around your life. Bit of a tangent, but I really want to, just for everyone's sanity, mental health, and to have a little bit of fun, start to entertain your inner child a little bit, and also take some calculated risks and have a little bit more danger in your life, if you will. We're a little coddled these days. We're a little soft. So let's talk about the importance of sleep. Well, I don't need to tell you how important sleep is in order to be youthful. When we're sleeping, what's happening is our body is basically rejuvenating. Your sleep time should be your non-negotiable time. I will say, however, I'm not always the best with going to bed at a regular time. Sometimes, like say, for example, I do a 4x4 trip. I'm literally wired until like 1 or 2 p.m. Usually because I've had to drink a lot of coffee so that I stay awake, because I was driving for a while. But do what you can to have a nighttime routine. So my nighttime routine involves taking an Epsom salt bath. I'll throw some of my pineapple body oil, which you can pick up at the e-store at rachelvarga.ca. Love that pineapple oil. I'll throw a couple of glugs in there. Use it to shave your legs, stuff like that. When you get out of the tub, you're literally hydrated head to toe like a freaking goddess. And the magnesium in the tub is really great for your muscles and just to kind of soothe your nervous system. I love red light therapy in the evening. I love it in the morning. I actually drink about this much water. I'm holding up a massive, how big is this? I don't even know, 1 or 2 liter mason jar. I always drink out of glass. I don't know how I can handle drinking that much water before bed, but for some reason, I always sleep better when I'm more hydrated. And I postulate it's because our brain, when we sleep, actually shrinks. There's a really cool TED Talk on this, because scientists are trying to figure out, like, how does the brain detox? The brain detoxes while you sleep. Your brain shrinks. And then what happens is your cerebral spinal fluid is almost like your lymphatic system of your brain. It's really fascinating. So then all these toxins, junk, debris, cellular debris, it's all going to slip out from the brain area down your spinal cord. And then through diffusion, different toxins can then get picked up through the rest of the body. Then it gets cycled through your liver, your kidneys, and then you're either going to sweat it out or you're going to urinate or excrete it out. So that's how we detox. So don't downplay the importance of getting really solid sleep for detoxification purposes, but that is how your body purges. That is how your body is actually regenerating and rejuvenating itself, is while you're sleeping. So the importance of sleep is really key. Also, one of the key aspects of sleep is that it gives your body the time to lower your heart rate, to calm down a little bit. During the day, we're getting triggered by all this ish on our social media, news, this, that, and the other thing, the woe of the world. Messes with your heart rate, spikes your heart rate up, spikes your stress, your cortisol, your adrenaline. That's not good for aging. That is bad for aging. stick your head in the sand for periods of time. Throw on those rose-colored glasses for periods of time. The other thing I want you to all start focusing on is really monitoring your heart rate variability. Okay. So I use the 8 Sleep mattress cover. I've used the Aura Ring to track my HRV and see what really messes with my sleep and my HRV. The biggest things, watching a scary movie before bed, or having a lot of alcohol before bed, or eating too much before bed. Those are usually the things that are going to tank my HRV. So a higher HRV is a metric that tells you that, hey, your body is recovering appropriately. So that's why utilizing things like biohacking can be really helpful to see what works for you, because what works for me might not work for somebody else. So you kind of have to learn how to become your own your own diagnostician, if you will. And no, this isn't medical advice. This is educational information only. Think you have a medical condition, you must seek the guidance of a licensed physician. Before you do anything in regards to trying to impact your aging process, rejuvenation, skincare, you gotta start to dial in your sleep. This is really, really, really key. So as a thank you for everybody tuning in to the show here and being a part of the community, BioOptimizers is extending additional savings to you guys. They've just decided to offer some super steep savings until the end of the year using promo code VARGA at megbreakthrough.com/Varga and start to sleep better ASAP. I'll take the Meg Breakthrough about 2 hours before bed, or when I remember before bed. I'll also take it with my melatonin. My doctor's actually prescribed melatonin for me. It's a very potent antioxidant and it does help you with sleep. First time I took the two together, I actually literally like conked out. Actually, I think that evening I even fell asleep in the bathtub. It was pretty noticeable for me. But I take melatonin because it's an antioxidant and for immune support. I also take like a ton of zinc, vitamin C, NAC, vitamin D3, all these things that are going to get this episode banned for sure that I just mentioned. Quercetin, trust me, I'm taking it all. IVM, like I'm on it. I am on it. And I want you guys to all be on it as well and look after your body, mind, spirit, energy. Do what feels right for you. What's right for somebody else might not be right for you. We're all wonderfully and beautifully connected, but we also have different DNA. Okay. So because of our DNA and the things that we're exposed to in and around our environments, our homes, all of that, they really impact our epigenetics and the ways that our genes express themselves. Okay. So it's important for you to know that aging and living well is not a one size fits all cookie cutter approach. It's going to take a little bit of hard work on your end to figure out what works for you. And for me, taking the magnesium before bed works like a hot dang for me. My sleep metrics are awesome. My HRV continues to go up. My heart rate continues to go down while I sleep. Those are all really good metrics that my body is dealing with stress and it's rejuvenating and regenerating itself effectively and efficiently while I'm sleeping. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about here, which I kind of alluded just a second ago, I want you to remember, especially during this craziness in the world and all this stuff, I just saw a message from the White House basically wishing ill on certain people. What the heck is going on? Wow. I don't even know what to say to that. I don't even know what that's meant to do, but it's not loving, unfortunately. So remember that we are all one. Many blessings and grace to you and your families this holiday, because we are also you. So how we treat ourselves is also going to be a reflection of how we treat others. So when we're very careful with our words, other people are going to start to notice that as well. And what's really funny is when I hang out with certain friends and stuff like that, and I hear them saying things like, oh, in the new year, I'm going to do this, or in the new year, I'm going to be this way. Why wait? Why not just put that in the ether now that you are going to be that way in the present moment now. So also just an encouragement to be a little bit less fragmented in your reality, really be in the present moment here, enjoy the now. Don't worry about what happened in the past. Don't worry about what may or may not happen in the future. That's a great way to tank your youthful mindset. We have to stay present. We have to stay here. We have to stay in that loving vibration. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Those are all fruits of the spirit. Easy things you could even do is put some intention on your water. I charge my water all the time with my Somavedic behind me. So it's this little green thing that sits behind me. Just pop my water next to it. And it actually helps with the atomic structure of the oxygen and hydrogen and the bonding angles. It's all quite fascinating and scientific and technical. But basically, it just makes your water better, more bioavailable, so your body actually absorb it better and spend less energy trying to restructure it. But maybe try this holiday season next year. Right now, you're going to do this right now. See what I did there? I tricked you. You're going to put beautiful intentions on your water, like love, joy, peace. Those fruits of the spirit are great words to use to put intention on your water. I think we downplay our intentions. Our intentions are very powerful. Our mindset is very powerful. Our words are very powerful. And I am making this connection right here, right now. You heard it here first on the Rachel Varga podcast, how these are youthful mindset keys, little pearls of wisdom that, I can't take all the credit of. I really learned this stuff from my amazing clients that I work with all over the world. Let me check some comments here because this is a live episode. Morad says, hey, what's up? Hey. So we have just an interesting observation here. About 25% of the audience here is men. Men, I love you. The masculine's going through some ish right now. Okay. This is going to be a little mental health PSA here, because over the last 2 weeks, I've had more men, who are my friends, reach out to me and say, Rachel, I'm on the edge. I've even thought about taking my life. Okay. These are crazy times right now. This is very serious. If you are wavering, if you are feeling like you're psychologically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically breaking, I really want to encourage you to seek psychological support, whether that's through a counselor, through a psychologist. I'm more than happy to share who I work with and can recommend. We've had Leslie Miranda here on the show a number of times. We've had Amber Rickert here on the show. I love having counselors and psychotherapists here on the show because this is really important. And if you are feeling like you're just about to break and crack, you're not alone. A lot of us are going through this. So we're always going to be stronger together. Fill your mind with positive, high vibration thoughts and things. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me over email, info@rachelvarga.ca, with your skin questions, product reordering, and next steps for your at-home and in-clinic skin rejuvenation journey. All that stuff is super light and easy for me. This whole psychological mental stuff, the mindset of beauty and radiance, this is the really deep, hard stuff. And this is actually what lights me up. So having that willingness and desire to want to explore other aspects of yourself, other aspects of being alive, being human, try and learn new skills and do new things. Those are all going to be beneficial in helping you have that more youthful, and the word that I'm looking for is kind of inquisitive, question everything, and really give yourself some breaks from what's going on in the world. And for a time, stick your head in the sand, throw on those rose-colored glasses. But one of the crazy things about meditation is I do these practices that are 2 hours long. And I did it last night before bed. And I actually looked at my 8 sleep metric. And I'm going to show you something really interesting here. So you know how I said when you get a really good sleep, your heart rate goes down, you're less stressed out, and your heart rate variability goes up, showing that you're recovering well. Well, look what happened when I was meditating last night. This is really, really fascinating. So let me pull this up here. I'm going into my sleep report on my 8 sleep. Check this out. My slowest point, my lowest heart rate point was between when I start meditating. I think it was around like 10:45 or 11 to 2 a.m. or something like that. Look how low my heart rate went. It dipped down much lower than the rest of the time when I was sleeping. So don't downplay the importance of taking time out of the world, the matrix, the game, whatever you want to call it, and really take that time to quieten your mind and go within. It does have measurable physiological impacts. And I'm just telling you right now, it's going to lower your heart rate. And that is going to help you feel a lot less stressed out and more happy. Okay, Moritz. Hello, Moritz says, oh, yeah, this is great. See, when we spend attention on and highlight things that are scary and kind of bothering us, you're just going to shed more light on it, right? It's not just, okay, shadow work, talk about it, deal with it, move on. No, it's you have to actually shed light and integrate it. It's different. So Moritz says, thanks, I'll keep that in mind. I think it's important to seek help sometimes. Absolutely. There are situations where you can't get back up alone. Build your community of like-minded individuals. I can't tell you how many amazing friends I've met over these last 2 years. 2 weeks turned into 2 years all fast. One has to accept that. Okay, sure, I'm accepting it. And I'm looking at the positives. Has my life completely changed over the last 2 years like everybody else's? Yeah. Am I happier now? Yeah, I am actually. So it's just how you choose to look at it, right? Sure, I could, go travel and teach in New York, California, Toronto, Vancouver. I was supposed to go teach in London, and then all this stuff happened. My career was like seriously taking off in regards to my rejuvenation training and all of that. So because of this, I really significantly missed out on a lot of opportunities that I was really working hard towards, not only just mentally, physically, but also financially. And I know all of us have. But on the flip side, I have now been able to cultivate a different type of life. And so I've come to terms with accepting that, okay, this is how things are going to be. How can I put the most positive spin on it possibly? Well, now that I'm not traveling all the time, I have a better sleep routine. My hormones are more balanced. I'm not going up in elevation. I'm not eating a lot of like garbage, junk food, restaurant foods with rancid oils, anyways. So my body's actually healthier because my body was not loving the whole 9 to 5 grind anymore. It just it couldn't do it. It couldn't do it anymore. So the more we start to listen and say, okay, actually, maybe changing the way that we've lived to this different way, there can be some benefits to it. Also, Moritz saying that you can't get back up alone. I've talked to so many amazing individuals over the last 2 years. I feel like I've made more friends than ever. I'm making faster connections than ever, and all of that. Just finding like-minded individuals, and we're just like pooling our resources, backing each other up, helping each other get back up, right? We don't have to do this alone. And sometimes sharing our vulnerabilities with those of us who we trust and want to have these open conversations with is really important. And this is kind of part of the game right now, is moving through all of this stuff. And we're going to be able to do it with a little bit more grace and ease and beauty with everything that I really try and share here on the Rachel Varga podcast. So thanks everybody for your ongoing support and trust. I love you all so much. I wouldn't be creating this content on the show here if it wasn't for you and your kind words. Let me know what you learned or liked about this episode. Shoot me an email, info@rachelvarga.ca. Please leave a podcast review, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification on Facebook and YouTube. I love that new bowl that I picked up. It's such I don't know, this is my old one, much higher, and my new one is much lower. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. All right. Moritz says, yes, I think being in a good environment and having friends is fulfilling. It's not fulfilling. It's freaking essential. And it's like a lifeline. My friends, y'all know who you are. everyone, like my friends through Upgrade, my bestie Lena, Sandy, Christina, hubby, other friends, family. Like, you guys are absolutely pivotal in my life and my clients and part of the community here on the show. Everyone that's just hanging out and taking this journey with me. Let's try and enjoy this ride as much as we can and look as gorgeous and beautiful and radiant in the process. And then other people around you are gonna say, hey, I want what they're drinking, right? And then you'll be able to share the things that have helped you and lead by example. And remember, we're all one, we're all in this together. You're never alone, and seek help and guidance if you need to. But keep that youthful mindset, everybody. I think that words and our mindset are much more powerful in regards to setting up an enhanced and slower aging process than we are led to believe. I'll see you guys in the next episode right here on the Rachel Varga podcast. Love you all so, so much. Happy winter solstice.